Make decisions that actually build you the life that you want, not the life that you're stuck in. Because if you don't like what you have, then you need to do something to change it. Welcome to the VetRise Podcast. I'm your host, Juan Perez. My goal is to make success after service accessible to every veteran in society. I believe in the power of leveraging your service, not as a label that defines you, but as a launching pad for your next chapter. What we have been doing has not been working, and it's on us to start changing the culture. Enjoy the episode, and thank you for your time. The underlying theme of today is confidence. However, we are going to get there in a different way than we would normally get there. Today, we're definitely talking about confidence, but you're not going to hear me say the word confidence too much because I want to teach you how you can look at it a little bit differently. It's not just about, do you feel confident enough to do what you're doing, but it's actually, what do you do when you start to fall off a little bit? When maybe you don't have the very best day? When maybe your nutrition starts to lack a little bit? What type of decisions do you make when all of a sudden the decisions you make are more important than the result? Because it is all about the journey, right? The outcome will happen based on what type of decisions you make on a daily basis. Reset and relaunch. What to do when you start to self-sabotage your workouts and nutrition. Now let's think about that. Reset and relaunch. What does it mean to reset and relaunch? You were in momentum. You had a solid week. Saturday rolled around and maybe you made a mistake. Maybe you didn't make the best decisions. Maybe you knocked yourself out of momentum a little bit. Maybe you had that extra piece of cake that you know you didn't really want, and then you felt like shit afterwards. Maybe you forgot to do your workouts on the week and you said you were going to do them on the weekend, and then the weekend rolled around and life gets busy because we know that happens on the weekend. Maybe you were supposed to do meal prep on Sunday, and instead, you slept in and you had a nice, easy day. And then by the end of the night, you were rushing. You have to understand that that does not equate to failure. It is about what you do when the hard times happen that matters much more than that one moment in time. That's why it has to be a reset. And then you have to relaunch. You have to get back into outer space. You have to freaking keep flying high. You have to get back into momentum. So what do you do when you start to self-sabotage? It's not necessarily a self-sabotage all the way through, but what do you do when you start to do it? You have to be honest about why it's happening, why you keep slipping. You have to be honest about why it's happening. If you keep doing the thing that's holding you back, it's not by accident. It's happening for a reason. You're not respecting your boundaries. Perhaps you're not planning your week ahead. Perhaps you are over-volunteering yourself. Perhaps you're not scheduling your day, so before you know it, it's at the end of the day and you didn't plan your walk because you didn't put it on your calendar. The problem, the thing that's happening, isn't the real issue. It's a sign of something deeper. A lack of trust might actually be a lack of integrity for yourself. A lack of follow-through might be a lack of organizational skills. A lack of discipline might actually be a lack of devotion. If you don't meal prep, it might actually be not that you don't want to, not that you don't know how, not that it's skipped your mind, but you didn't take the time to actually put it on your calendar and respect it enough to actually take the time to do it. If you decide to skip a workout and you tell yourself, I'll do it at the end of the week, did you actually add it to your personal calendar and move it to the end of the week? Did you completely ignore the app on Saturday because it gives you anxiety because you know you missed on something? Instead of you just going into the app, deciding that, you know what? It is Saturday and Sunday. I'm not working. I have an entire 18 hours of the day, maybe 16 hours, maybe 12 hours. You deserve at least one of those hours for yourself. I'm sure you can even make 2 of those hours for yourself, and maybe even your family comes with you. The problem isn't the real issue. There's something deep down inside that you're not addressing. If you keep binge eating at night and going to your freaking fridge and grabbing something that you know you don't need and don't even want, and you're going to feel like crap afterwards, and you're going to ruin your sleep, it's not that you're hungry. You're looking for that dopamine hit. It's just that you didn't have a hearty dinner. You didn't have a good breakfast and a solid lunch and end your day with a hearty dinner. Therefore, you think you're hungry, you're getting some signals, and it's what you're used to. And the lack of integrity and the lack of confidence in yourself, because it is confidence that you are going to follow through with it, it's probably the reason why you're still buying the shit from the grocery store that you know you shouldn't be buying anyway. Maybe you think that you've hit your upper limit of what you think you deserve. Nobody deserves anything, by the way. If you deserved it, you would have it. Think about that word. If you deserve it, you will have already had it. So if you have a lot of wins and you have actually lost the weight and you're on the right path and you're getting better about meal prep, celebrate that because you deserve it. You've done the work. You have to change that upper limit of what you think you can actually accomplish. And we've talked about this, but new levels are going to bring new devils. Guess what? When you get into a nice little rhythm and you're actually going to the gym consistently, the issue isn't going to be, I don't want to go to the gym. The issue is going to be, I have to figure out childcare. If you get into a nice little rhythm and you start meal prepping, the issue isn't going to be, I don't know what to do with the food. I don't know how to make it. It's, how do I get my family on board? How do I make sure that I say no to my coworkers when they want to go out for freaking Five Guys during lunch? As you continue to level up, that ceiling will get higher and higher and higher. That goalpost needs to move further and further and further because you need to be blissfully unsatisfied. Blissfully unsatisfied, which means that you are happy with where you are at, but you know that you want more. And you should want more. Comfort feels safe. Comfort feels like I'm in my zone. Nothing can hurt me. I can just sit here with my beer, lay on my couch, and yes, I'm overweight. And yes, I have health problems. But you know what? I feel safe here. It's a trap. It's a self-set trap. Nobody has to do it to you. Nobody has to confine you to your chair. Nobody has to close the doors. Nobody has to move you away from the gyms. Nobody has to put junk food in front of you. It's a self-set trap. And let's think about that. Imagine you're 80 years old and you look back on your life. How sad would it be that the worst trap in life was set by you? Like, imagine that. Or are you 80 years old, in better shape than you'd ever thought you'd be at that age, and you can look back on your life and you know what, your knees don't hurt because you made the commitment to actually lose the weight that you put on, and you did it. And you can get up out of bed, and you're not confined to a wheelchair. And that type 1 or type 2 diabetes that was coming your way, guess what? You were able to deal with it or at least manage it. And you don't have the health problems that you probably will have if you keep going down this way. It is a self-set trap. Comfort feels safe until it isn't. Don't let it become the thing that keeps you stuck. You got to show up even when it's messy. Even when it's raining, even when you only have time to do half the workout, even when your kids are crying and you have to ask your husband, hey, listen, I got to go to the gym for just give me an hour. Even when your boss tells you, hey, you didn't finish the project, like, are you going to stay late or not? Like, no, I can't. I have something that I have to do. Even when your friends say, hey, we haven't seen you in a while. Like, are you going to come out for drinks and beers? No. Don't get stuck worrying about failing or needing to get everything right. The magic will happen when you keep putting in the work, even when it's not perfect. Even when you go to the gym and all you do is hop on the treadmill, you did more than you did yesterday. We look back on our life and we have so many things that we are not happy with, but we don't do it often enough in the reverse. We don't think about the future and what we actually want in our lives to make sure we're happy then. Things don't have to be perfect. We're looking for progression. We're looking for you to actually just go to the gym when you're supposed to and start your workout. And guess what? If you can't do the barbell squat and all you can do is body weight squats, you're going to make progress. Because it's very easy to tell yourself, well, I don't have the equipment, or, oh, there's a bunch of high school kids on the machine, or, oh, well, by the time I get there, I'm only going to have 1 hour to work out, so I might as well not go, or, oh, I don't want to go to the gym because I forgot my headphones, or, oh, I forgot my shoes, or, oh, I have to get home and make dinner. No. Cool. Work out without your headphones. There's music in the gym. Guess what? Wear your other shoes. I don't care. Nobody's going to be making fun of you. They don't care. They're actually impressed because you still did the workout. Okay, hey kids, I'm going to be home a little bit late. Guess what? You're 15 years old. I'm sure you can make yourself something to eat today, or maybe there's leftovers, or ask your husband or your wife. Work together. All right, let's stop for a minute. This is the part of the episode where I ask you to do me a favor. But it's not a favor for me. It's a favor for your fellow brothers and sisters that served with you. If you know someone that has been struggling, if you know someone that has been going through it right now, and you know that they want better for their life, they just don't know how to do it, please share this episode with them. It might just be exactly what they need. That's it. That's my only ask. If you want to subscribe, I appreciate you. Thank you for your time. Back to the episode. It doesn't have to be perfect. You have to show up even when it's messy. The situation will never be ideal. As you get better at this, as you take this more seriously, it will become more and more ideal. Tim Cook has a saying where they asked him what he believes about the term that if you love what you do for work, you will never work a day in your life. And he said that there was complete BS. He said that if you love what you do for work, you will work harder than ever before, but the tools will feel lighter in your hands. And I believe this applies to this as well. If you love yourself, if you love this journey that you're on, you will work harder at it, but the tools will feel lighter in your hands. It will become less dreadful to go to the gym eventually because you'll realize that nobody's looking at you. It will become less dreadful to meal prep because guess what? You did it last weekend and it came out pretty freaking good. Guess what? Last week you were able to get 5,000 steps a day. Aim for 7 this week. You did your check-in and you saw the progress you make. Imagine how much more progress you would make if you didn't put off the things that you know you got to start working on. We've all heard the term, a rising tide raises all ships. But I want you guys to understand that it doesn't just apply to making people around us better. It's for you as well. If you start to work on that devotion to self, on that discipline muscle, and you get better at going to the gym, doing the workout, understanding the power of delayed gratification, before you know it, you are performing better at work. You're up for a promotion. You have more energy to play with your kids. Your attitude is better with your husband or wife. You're not feeling overwhelmed all of a sudden when typically you would. The way you do one thing in life will rub off on the way that you do other things in life. I know that if I'm going to have a hard day, let's just say next week, let's just say that Wednesday, I have to go to court and finalize something that's going to be very stressful on my life. And I know that it's going to happen at 10 a.m., right? it would be very easy for me to say, well, you know what, that day I can't make it to the gym. I have to make sure I'm ready, blah, blah, blah. Do you understand that I know that if I woke up a little bit earlier and I went to the gym, not only am I going to feel better after I'm done with the workout, but the event is not likely to stress me as much as it would if I missed. You have to show up even when it's messy. And how you do one thing is how you will do everything. You have to lift yourself up. The byproduct of you showing up, even when situations and your environment is not ideal, believe it or not, that is what helps you build confidence. Because if you can do it when there's a storm outside, when it's nice and sunny, it'll not even be a factor to you. It'll be that much easier for you. Let's just say you messed up your nutrition. If you overeat or maybe you had a bad day, do not punish yourself by starving yourself. Your body still needs the fuel. This is the way that we've been taught for years of like, oh, I overate yesterday, so today I can't eat anything. Where do you think the energy is going to come from to do your workout today? Where do you think the energy is going to come from to do your workout tomorrow? You can't cancel out a bad day. You just have to learn from it. You have to analyze it. You have to think, what did I do that created that situation that made me want to binge eat? That made me want to go to the drive-thru instead of driving home and eating the meal that I had already prepped? Analyze it and think about it. Get back to your meal plan the next day. Don't let one mistake spiral into a week of bad choices. Don't keep punishing yourself. Break the cycle and move on. Pay attention to what you felt. Ask yourself, why? Was it an emotional decision? Was it just because you took the streets home instead of the highway? Because there's McDonald's there. Because I used to do that. I know the feeling. Take the highway home. Lower your action threshold. That goes both ways. If you don't have to drive by that McDonald's, you don't have to make the decision of, am I going to do it or not? If you take the highway, that decision factor is gone. You just lowered your action threshold. Stop feeling obligated to eat what you don't want to and what's bad for you. If you overdid it on buying some junk food, throw it out. It's not wasting food if it's already throwing your goals off track. Better yet, don't even buy it. Today, I just emptied out my pantry and I threw away about 80% of the stuff that was in there. You should do the same thing. For the longest, we have stocked it with stuff that we don't need, and you're not wasting money because guess what? You can actually start replenishing your life with things that are much more affordable, because if you buy it and you actually eat it, you won't throw it away when it goes bad. You don't owe it to anyone to eat crap food, not even to yourself, to finish that junk food. Do you want your kids growing up doped up on sugar and Oreos or orange slices and Element as what they consider their juice? Because that's what I do for Oliver. Every decision you make is a chance to get back in line with your goal, to build your integrity and confidence. Because when you make that mistake and you have something that you don't want to and you have junk food, if you can get back to the plan, it's going to build your confidence because you did the right thing. And yes, you actually can build confidence in the pantry. Because when you can say no to something you know that you shouldn't eat, you made the right decision. This will build your willpower and your confidence in yourself. You did that. You did what you said you were going to do, which creates confidence in yourself. Now let's just say that you missed a workout. It doesn't mean that you quit. Did you get so busy that you skipped the workout? That doesn't mean that you blew it. You just have to adjust your plan. Maybe you do a lighter session. Maybe you shorten your routine. But you keep moving. You do something. You step into the gym. And if you move that workout, you better make sure you actually do it. Being flexible doesn't mean being weak. It means you're strong enough to adapt and keep going, and you trust your follow-through. So let's just say that I moved the workout from today to another day. I will only do that if I trust my follow-through on actually doing it that day. Because deep down inside, you know that in the past, when you moved the workout, as you moved it, you know you had no intention of doing it. And that destroys your confidence. So follow through with it. And then learn from what happened. Analyze why you missed it. What can you change next time? Otherwise, it will just happen again. Do you have to have a conversation with your loved ones? Do you have to make sure that you leave work on time? Do you have to make sure that you pack your gym bag the night before? Do you have to make sure that you don't chit-chat with everybody as you're leaving work? Do you have to make sure that you wake up early by going to bed on time? What do you have to do to make sure that this doesn't happen again? Otherwise, it'll just happen again. You can realign whenever you need to. A missed workout is not the end. It's just life throwing a curveball at you. It's going to happen. You don't need a perfect week to stay on track. But you do have to get back to it right away. You have the power to realign with your goals at any time, and you don't have to wait for a Saturday to start over or a Monday to get back on track or a coaching call or your check-in. You just have to get back on track. Make a decision. And every decision that you make is a brand new start. Every decision you make is a fresh shot at progress. It means that you're willing to continue what you've been doing. The journey is back on. When you fall off track, all you have to do is get back on track. That's it. You didn't backslide. You didn't fall all the way behind. You're right there. You're still next to the track. Make decisions that actually build you the life that you want, not the life that you're stuck in. Because if you don't like what you have, then you need to do something to change it. And remember, you're in the driver's seat. It's your time. You have to own the journey. You have to choose to thrive. It doesn't happen automatically. Or would you rather look back 6 months from now and wonder why you've been wasting all this time? Because I know I wouldn't. I think about where the hell I'm going to be 6 months from now, and it excites me. It's very easy to ignore the things that are hard. Because sometimes we will lump together working out and taking care of yourself with having a hard conversation with your boss or your loved one, or ending a marriage, or starting a job, or doing something in life that's hard. However, they're very separate. They're very separate. Because for you to take care of yourself and for you to be able to do all those other things, you have to start with yourself. You have to start with understanding that you cannot get stuck in your comfort zone. You have to keep moving. You have to keep allowing yourself to grow and grow and grow, because eventually the things that you're doing now seemed impossible to you 6 months ago. And you should have stuff on your mind right now that you think you can do in 6 months, that you will do in 6 months, that maybe right now seem impossible. That is the only way to keep growing your confidence, by following through what you said what you were going to do and doing it. Thank you for your time, guys. And that brings us to the end of another episode of the VetRise Podcast. If today's episode inspired you, made you think, or simply gave you hope, I have a small favor to ask. Share it with just one veteran or someone you think could benefit from my message. Your share could light a spark for them. You don't know who you might save. For more insights and to join our mission, follow my socials at JP the Veteran Coach and explore how we can rise together. Thank you for joining us, for being part of this journey, and for believing in the power of rising together. Until next time, keep pushing forward, keep rising, and never forget that we are stronger together. My name is Juan Perez, and thank you for your time.